People are going crazy over ChatGPT. For good reason, there's a lot of good stuff that it can do. But for SEO, can you use it and not get banned by Google for duplicate content? That's what we'll explore in this video. So number one, you can definitely use ChatGPT, you can use Jasper. If you want to create great outlines for your content, you can create headings, outlines for subsections. You can create a list of related pages that you might want to write a series of blog posts and a pillar cluster about. You can come up with alt tag ideas, subheading ideas. There's just so much that you can do by just throwing some input into ChatGPT and it will kick it right back to you. But what you can't do right now, in my humble opinion, is just say, write me a blog post about dog bite law and then throw it up on your law firm website, because Google has said that they don't like AI content. They have updates recently and they're going to keep going with these updates in regard to helpful content. They want people to have expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. They use that acronym EAT in their quality rating guides. They've even added another E to it. Do you have experience? So EEAT, in addition to those other things. So Google is always looking for good, unique, original content, and that's what they want. So if you just pump in a little prompt into ChatGPT, get some content and throw it right up on your site, you might actually get into trouble. There are some people suggesting that you can, run it through ChatGPT, then run it through Jasper and maybe change the tone of it, then run it through Grammarly, then run it through Surfer SEO. And at that point, it will probably pass a duplicate content check, or I think it's originality.ai or writers.com has a check to see if the AI content that you've generated looks like it's been generated by AI or original. And if you throw it into one of those tools and it's getting even like a 70% original score, that's only like a C grade. Do you really want to risk it and give that to Google? I wouldn't. So, if you're writing for maybe a small site where you're doing it for affiliate marketing, or you don't mind potentially burning your whole domain, sure, just go hog wild and use these tools and throw the content right up every day, multiple blog posts a day. If you can afford to burn your domain. It reminds me of back in 2012, well actually we'll go back to 2011, when Google came out with the Google Panda algorithm update. So they got really good at figuring out if people had duplicate content on their sites. And people that had kind of crossed some lines, or maybe some forum sites that had a lot of content that was, from other places on it, that content got either banned or deranked. Then in 2012, the Google Penguin algorithm update made it so if you were doing things that had worked for a decade, like getting links from eZine articles or article directories and directory listings, all of a sudden Google crushed people for that. And it took a good year and a half before people were really able to figure that out and get more quickly out of those problems. I remember the first section of time after that, at least the first 6 months to a year, was kind of a crap show. I mean, we were, struggling to figure out for clients that had that kind of an issue what to do. So it is possible that this whole craze of AI content could run into one of those scenarios where everybody that jumps on this bandwagon in a, haphazard kind of way now might eventually get banned. So just approach it with a little bit of skepticism, in the sense that you don't want to just push a button and pump out content. What it's absolutely good for is getting you started with an article, giving you outlines. You can write emails, landing pages, tweets, social updates, all kinds of great stuff. I actually watched a video this morning where a guy had written a calculator. He said he wanted a calculator on his site. So he inputted what he wanted into ChatGPT. It pumped out the HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript code for a simple calculator that he wanted. And then he put it on his site, and about an hour and a half later, he had a cool link bait, because formerly those kind of calculators, you would either have to lease one or hire a developer for, say, $2,500 or $5,000 to do it. And developers take a long time to get these kind of things done. So there are amazing ways that ChatGPT can help, but just click and post blog post on your site is not one of them yet. There are some other tools that maybe do the work for you to mix it up even more and make it past the, not AI content filter for Google. But it's risky, right? So at the moment, we're experimenting with it. We're still having writers do the majority of the work, but they can use AI tools, just use them to benefit writing better content and a little bit quicker, but not just, soup to nuts, just pumping it out overly quickly. Now, what else can you do moving forward with ChatGPT? I think in the future, it's going to be, a real problem for Google if they don't have an alternative to this. If you search right now for something, for whatever, results are often really long because SEO companies are tasked with writing long, in-depth, deep content. And I've been wondering for quite a few years now as an SEO agency, is this sustainable? How long does the content have to be? Does every, thing like how to make oatmeal have to be like a 2,500 word article? It doesn't really make sense. So right now you can just say how to cook oatmeal in ChatGPT or how to find a dog walker or whatever it is, and it will kick it right back to you. It'll give you very quick answers. So that is awesome. And that is sort of the future with this kind of technology. But, I think Google will probably come out with something similar. They need to have an answer to it or they're going to be in trouble because not everybody wants to sift through these long, pages that just have so much information on them. I'd say crap, but, it's probably helpful information. But if you just want to hone in on what, the answer you wanted, you don't necessarily want to have to go through all that stuff that was written for SEO. So I think the future of SEO is going to change. Is this the end of long form content? I'm not sure yet. I do think that this will shift the industry. If people can get quick answers for a lot of content, the necessity for some long form content may go away. But this is really an opportunity for SEOs and people with websites to do more. As long as you're adding something original and unique and adding extra value, I think you're going to win in the long term, even if you do use these tools. But if you don't add some kind of uniqueness to it, I think that's where you'll get in trouble. Now I'll show you the basics of how to use ChatGPT and Jasper for writing content and doing some other cool stuff. One of the most basic things you can use Jasper for is to write blog posts or come up with the structure for writing the blog post with Jasper's help. It's probably a better way to do it than just pumping it out. So I put in a blog post intro paragraph under the templates, and then I'm going to hit the little blue button to get the content. And pretty quickly it's going to crunch, and then over on the right side it's going to give me some options. Sometimes you can set it to give you a few different versions. So here we go. That was pretty quick. If you're a busy content creator, it's no surprise that you want to maximize your efforts and get the most out of your content. But producing top-notch, SEO-friendly blog posts that won't get penalized by Google can be difficult in a world where algorithms are blah, blah, blah. So it's not bad, Now, this is technically scraping the internet, so I'm not exactly sure how well they do to stitch it together. So again, you'd want to look at this after, if you're even going to use it so directly. Look at it with a tool like the originality.ai for duplicate content checking. So anyway, then you go back to the templates, and instead of a intro paragraph, you can do an outline. And now I can do it on that same topic. Hit the blue button, and now it'll give me some different outline options. Now, when you're writing blog posts, one of the quickest ways to do it is to use a numbered list or a clear outline at the very least. And so these types of outlines can save you acres of time. And then, if you want to generate some paragraphs and get ideas from them, maybe use a little bit of it. That's certainly, one way to do it. Let's see what's over in the world of ChatGPT. Earlier, I put into the prompt, again, you just tell the tools like this what you want. And I had put in create a tool for a web page that calculates how many words are pasted into a text form field. And very quickly, ChatGPT gave me this bit of code, PHP code. I haven't tried it yet, but it's code for that little tool, which is quite amazing. And then I said, well, it just gave me the PHP. I want the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I added another prompt, create an HTML, CSS, JavaScript tool for a website page that calculates how many words are pasted into a text form field. So more specificity, it then gave me the HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript. And I can use a tool like WP Coder. Since I'm not an advanced developer, you can use a plugin like that to add this to a page in WordPress pretty easily, and you'll have this type of calculator. So whether it's making simple outlines or some text for blog posts or even writing code, these tools certainly have their place. And that's just the basics of getting started.